stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome back to We Are Mighty. How you doing this week? How's the last couple weeks been treating you? As I'm sure you can hear, I've got some allergy issues going on, so me and my voice are just going to try to tough it out this week. But I can't miss an opportunity to speak to you guys, to relay my thoughts, to relay my experiences. It's the whole reason I'm here, right? It's only every 2 weeks, and we only spend about a half an hour together, so I think we should be good. So how's your grief journey going? I hope it's just a little bit better than it was the last time that we came together. You know, last time we talked about the different types of grief and how they can affect you differently, but the cycle can be the same. And one of the things I realized is grief seems to open up this portal. And it's a portal of questions, never-ending questions that you may or may not find the answers to. More often than not, you won't. And it's a constant battle. You're constantly asking different questions as a result, trying to find the answers, trying to find comfort, trying to find a way to suppress them. But once you suppress one question, another question arises. Probably the biggest question that comes out of the loss of a loved one is why? Why this person? Why our family? Why take this person at this age? Why not someone else? There's so many whys, and we'll never know a particular reason why someone was taken from us, but it doesn't stop those questions from coming. I know I'm almost daily asking that question and trying to figure out, why my child, why my friend, why such a wonderful person had to be taken away from us by cancer, why such a great kid had to be taken away from us by gun violence. The questions just stick with you. And a lot of times they'll come at inopportune times when you're not even thinking about death per se. And just out of nowhere, one of those questions will come to mind. On the flip side of the whys is the why not? Why not me instead of my son? Why not someone else who's done worse things? Or why not? But who are we to judge? We can't make that call of when it's someone else's time. As I've said before, we're not in control of it. Of course, if we had control, we would have made sure that the person was here much longer. Maybe that no one who we cared about would leave us. But if you're a believer, you know that we are put on this earth and we will die at some point. Doesn't make it any easier. Doesn't stop the questions from coming. But in addition to the whys, a lot of times there's the questions of trying to justify or trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Am I being punished? Is this for something, a sin that I committed? And putting yourself at fault. And that's not healthy either, because then you're beating yourself up for something that, once again, you have no control over. I think that's probably one of the hardest things for me is could I have done something to prevent this? Could I have stepped in? Could I have stopped him from going to the party he went to as it relates to my son? Could I have said or done something that would have made him do something differently? Could I have completely changed the trajectory of that night. But I have no control over that. So we sit, and these questions, they eat away at us. And we have to try to figure out how to let it go and understand that it's not our fault. It's nothing we did. There's nothing really that we could have done in the situation, if that makes sense. Because especially if it's someone who was taken at the hands of another, because then it would have been trying to control your loved one, trying to control the other person and their actions and what they would have done. When the fact of the matter is, when it's someone's time, it's their time. I am a firm believer of that. It was hard to believe that it was my son's time. It was hard to believe that it was my friend's time, but I do believe we're here for a set amount of time. And when that time is up, that time is up. It's hard to accept when it's someone that you love dearly and someone that's close to you. But it's a harsh reality, and it's inevitable. And we have to figure out a way to accept it. I would say my biggest issue right now is did I do everything right? Did I do everything I could have? My son was only here for 24 years. Did he leave this earth truly knowing how much his mom loved him? That's really what I tend to beat myself up over. Did I do everything that I could have as a mom? Did I teach him everything that I should have? Did I point him in the right direction? I feel like I did, but was there something that I could have done differently? You know, I raised my kids to where I always let them know, you know, there's a straight path to where you may want to be, to get to your dreams, to get to your desires. The easiest path is that straight path. Now, if you decide to take some twists and turns along the way, you'll still get to where you want to be. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. So if you stay on the straight and narrow, you'll get there. And that's the quickest way to meet your goals, to reach your dreams, to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And I did tell them, you know, having kids early, having kids out of wedlock, that's going to throw a wrench in your plans. That's going to slow you down because you're going to want to give your all to your child. I don't regret having kids. My kids were always my everything. But I just taught them, you know, for every action, there is a reaction. And the choices that you make, they have consequences, whether positive or negative. And I remember someone saying to me, do you think that's the right thing to tell them? You should just tell them, stay on this path. Don't worry about what's over on the other path. Just stay this way, and then they'll just get to their goals. But I didn't want it to be that they would think, well, what's over there that she's trying to keep me from? I'd rather tell them, if you go over there, here's what you're going to experience. Will you make it back to your path? You might. If you try hard enough, you will. But going over there is going to slow you down. And now, of course, I'm like, should I have told him that? Should I have just said, hey, this is what you do, this is how you do it, and you just stick to it? And I literally beat myself up. Could I have done it differently? Could I have just said, say no to this, say no to that, stay here, don't worry about what's out there, and you'll make it? Would it really have made a difference, though? If I truly believe that when it's a person's time, it's their time, and God ordained for my son to only be here for 24 years, it would have just been a different way. And I say this right now, actually speaking to myself, because, like I said, it's one of the biggest things I beat myself up over. Did I do everything right? Did I lead him the way that I was supposed to lead him? Was I the mother that I was supposed to be for him? I'm still waiting to wake up from this nightmare. There's so many questions. There's so many things that pop up out of nowhere that just hurt my feelings. Like, what kind of father would he have been? Should I have taught him not to have kids? If I'd have known he'd be taken away from me this early? Probably not. Probably would have had a grandchild to live on with his legacy. But that's selfish thinking. I still think that way. It would have been great to still have a part of him here with us. Yes, he's here in our heart. Yes, the memories live on, but it's hard. And I can't come here every week and look and act like everything's fine and, tell you everything's going to be okay. It will be. But is it okay for me right now? No. But I'm trying my best. And that's all anyone can ask of any of us, is to try our best. It's crazy to drive down the street and see something, see a family or something, and all of a sudden, the question pops in your head. How would my son have been if he made it to that point in life? See a vehicle that he wanted, because we were having conversations about plans for future things, and he was saving up for a specific car. That's the car he wanted. I wonder how he would have reacted if he actually had gotten it. Have a moment. Oh, if Miles were here, I wonder how he would react right now. Or I know what he would say right now. It's changed my whole reality. My whole life, of course. And sometimes the questions just become unbearable. And it's just, it consumes me. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who goes through that. It's all part of this grief journey. And it's just, sometimes you have to take a moment and force it to cut everything off. Like, I have to just take a moment, sit down, and try to just completely clear every thought from my head. And that is one of the hardest things, because I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I am a wife, I am a grieving mother. There's so many things that are already going through my head besides these questions related to losing my son. So I try to suppress them and let other things, take over. Oh, did I pay this bill this week? Did I make that phone call? Did I do this for the business? Did I take care of this for my husband? But it's those moments when I try to settle down, maybe at the end of the night, or just take a moment to take a breather, that all of those questions related to the grief, they just seem to rise up, like they were just waiting for that moment of quiet, to where it's echoing in my head. It's so hard, day by day. But I have to make it, right? We have to get past these things. We have to figure out a way to deal with it. And it's not going to be the same for each of us. You have to figure out what is your way of dealing with it. You have to figure out what's your coping mechanism. I have a white noise app on my phone. Sometimes I have to play that to try to drown out the thoughts. I don't know if that's healthy. I don't know if that's something that my therapist would suggest. But I have to get those thoughts because they come through so loud. So yeah, I'll listen to a fire crackling. I'll listen to a storm. I'll listen to whatever noise will get rid of those questions in my head. I just have to figure it out. And I'm telling you this because it's, like I said, it's something that bothers me, and I'm sure it's something that bothers others. Not that I'm trying to give you a way of dealing with it. I'm just letting you know you're not alone. This grief journey is a mother. I'm gonna just put it like that. It's something else, and there's something new every single day. Something you would never expect. Something you would usually, when you think you're to a point where you've gotten better, where, okay, I think I'm a little bit calmer today. I think I'm moving towards getting past it a little bit better. And then something happens that knocks you right back. And that's okay. I think my issue is I just want to be at a certain place that I'm not, and I want to try to convince myself that I am. And that makes those thoughts and those feelings of loss, those feelings of grief and hurt, that makes those things affect me even worse. Because I'm lying to myself. I'm good. I'm good. My baby would want me to be strong like this. He'd want me to hold my head up high and walk like this isn't affecting me. Act like I don't hear in the back of my head a bunch of questions, a bunch of screaming. But no, I'm fine. I'm good. Until I get that moment of silence. That moment when I can't sleep at night. The silence that is so loud, it's deafening. And then I want to be upset with myself. Oh, it's a crazy journey. I'm not going crazy. At least I'm not going to allow myself. But that journey in the mind of dealing with grief and loss and pain, especially when you are someone who feels like you don't want to burden other people. And usually those other people care and they want to know and they want to be there for you. It's a personal thing. So rather than burden someone else, rather than share with anyone else what you're going through, you're in this fight alone. It's not the healthiest way to deal with it. I can say that, but Lord knows it's what I've been doing. So I'm going to ask that you pray for me as I pray for you all, that I get the strength to lean on those who are here for me, those who are always checking on me and literally saying, I know you're not okay. You say it all the time. Please reach out to me. I'm here for you. There are genuine people out there. I just have a hard time of trusting people, even those who I care about and I know care about me. I feel like I have to put on this persona. And that's the reason that a lot of people say to me, you make it look so much easier than I would expect. You don't look like what you've been through. And now I'm to the point where, is that a good thing? Should I look like what I've been through? I don't want people to think that I am downplaying what has happened or that I've completely forgotten about my child. Not a day goes by, not a minute goes by that I don't miss him, that I don't hurt. So is that a good thing? You know, in churches, they always say, I don't look like what I've been through. Should we? Is it healthy? Once again, questions that we may never know the answer to because it's different in different situations as well. I know a lady who just recently went through something that I would never wish on any other human being. And, you know, we just closed out October, which was Domestic Violence Month. And this poor woman had to deal with an unimaginable pain, an unimaginable incident that left her scarred. And she's now dealing with the grief of losing herself. And I pray for this woman every day that she has the strength to look in the mirror, the strength to understand that it wasn't her fault, the strength to understand that we don't know why God allows things to happen. We don't know why people do the things that they do. And it's not always easy to be strong, and that's okay. But there are people who love you and who care about you and who are here to make sure that you get past this. And that we get past the grief, the pain of the grief, the sorrow, that we can go day by day with just a little bit less of the hurt. So I pray for her as well. It's been a rough couple of weeks. As a former victim of domestic violence, October is always a difficult month for me. Sometimes people ask me to speak or sing or do different things, and sometimes that brings up old hurt as well. The song that you hear at the beginning and end of this podcast is a song that my son had written, and in that song he actually speaks about me dealing with a domestic violence situation that I didn't even know he knew about. So it's crazy that I didn't hear this song until he was gone. So I never had the conversation with him to know that he knew about it and that he applauded me for being strong. But it affected him. As a grown man, it affected him. So I don't even know why I even went this route. I had no plans of talking about any of this, but you know, when I get here and I just get to talking, I just say what's on my heart. So we have to take a moment and try to suppress all of the questions that arise, because we will never have the answers to all of them. And it'll drive us crazy, trying to figure it out, beating ourselves up, trying to figure out what we should have done or what we should have said, what could have stopped it. We can't change the past. All we can do is make sure that we handle the present and the future in a different way, or a better way, or a more positive way. I hope my rambling has helped you in some way, shape, form, or fashion this week. We're here every other Friday, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Feel free to email me at wearemighty24@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page for the We Are Mighty podcast. Reach out. Let me know your thoughts. We're here, and we'll see you again next time. In everything that you do, be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.